Hey everyone, it's Chris, the PDX Picker. Welcome back to another video. We're going to pull some orders that sold for me on eBay, and we're going to talk about an issue that I have with the post office. I know we all probably have had issues with the post office, but this one was unique. I hadn't had it before, and I think it's something that I know they won't, but they probably should address, especially when it comes to these high dollar, high priority items. So stick around after the intro song. We'll get to pulling those orders and we'll get to the topic.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so we have 9 things going out today. A couple of really good sales on there, so I'm excited to pull these orders out. It's been only 2 days since my last order pull. Sales are going really well for me in the month of July. I actually had a really good July last year. I think I had almost $3,600 in sales in July of 2023, which was a record for me, record month for me at the time. We are on pace, hopefully, to match that and probably exceed it. Fingers crossed anyway. It's July 15th. We're not even quite halfway through the month. Who knows how it's going to turn out. But anyway, let's get to pulling these orders. The first item that is going out today is something that I took a bit of a chance on, and I was very happy with how it turned out. It is a pair of shoes that I found at my favorite thrift store. I paid $14.99 for them, and I was with my son Jonas. He is also a reseller, but he is in the early stages of learning some things. But one thing that he is definitely better at than I am is knowing what is cool, what is trendy, what is something that has some cool factor to it. And of course, he tends to know what's cooler for the younger crowd, the Gen Z type of crowd. I'm thinking that maybe this item that sold might be cooler for an older crowd or just maybe for a shoe collector in general. But this is what's sold here. It's this pair of Reebok Pump. Exact model is Match Day. I think it came out in 2008. These are tennis themed. I featured these in the last video of mine, but I only had them listed for maybe 3 days. It probably was closer to 2 days, and I got an offer for $85, and I went ahead and took it because I only spent $15. Had them listed for $100. I'll take $85 though. So I was a little bit nervous. These hadn't sold on any online platform that I could see for probably 10 plus years. That's not true. According to WorthPoint, nothing had sold on eBay or some of the other primary online marketplaces. I don't know, maybe they had sold on Poshmark, maybe they had sold on Grailed or some of these other more shoe-focused sites, but they definitely hadn't sold on eBay since I think 2011 was the last one. And back then they only sold for $18. So I was just banking off of the rarity, the fact that the Reebok Pump has had a bit of a resurgence. Reebok has come out and reissued quite a few different versions of the Pump. Some of those shoes can go for more than $300 if they're brand new. So I felt like it was worth a shot, and it paid off for sure. So I'm very happy with that one. Sometimes you just kind of got to go with your gut. Like I said, I was asking Jonas, who I definitely listened to on a lot of things, and he was saying no, but I just said, you know what, for $15, it was worth a shot. You know, if it was much more than that, I might not have taken the risk, but it was okay for $15. This next item that sold is this old soft sculpture homemade Cabbage Patch doll. It's not Cabbage Patch branded, but I know that soft sculpture Cabbage Patches can be pretty collectible, and I found this at the Goodwill outlet, so it doesn't weigh too much, but I bet you I paid around $2 for it. And I just liked the subject matter. It was, this neat little My Little Lamb dress. It's got a little bit of a condition issue to it, but it's possible throwing that in the washing machine might take it out, although it's all over the place. Anyway, I'm talking a lot about this item, but I actually only sold it for $10 on offer, and I had it for a long time, probably close to a year and a half. So I'm not recommending you go out there and look for it. I actually have 2 real soft sculpture Cabbage Patch dolls that they're worth a decent amount of money, at least based off of the comps. I have one listed for 100 and I think one listed for 80 because it doesn't have clothing, but I'm just not getting any bites on those. Technically, I have sold one. I have one that has sold right now, but the buyer hasn't paid in almost 4 days, and they're not responding to any of my messages, which my experience is telling me that they're not going to respond, and I'm just going to end up relisting the item. But yeah, I don't know. I thought, again, I took a chance on this. It was only $2. I thought I had a potential home run, not a home run, but a potential really good hit with like a $30, $40, $50 item. Wasn't the case at all, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and get into the topic of the day before we get moving too much further. And I know we all have a lot of issues at times with the post office. I personally have very few issues with them. I think they do a great job. They rarely lose my packages. The packages are rarely arrive damaged. And I won't bury the lead too much in here. The moral, what happened with this particular package, actually everything turned out to be fine. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. But with that being said, I think they have room for dramatic improvement when it comes to, we'll just call it customer service in this aspect. So let me give you a bit of the backstory here. On a couple of video, maybe my most recent video, or maybe the one before, I can't remember, I showed you that I sold a Louis Vuitton credit card wallet for $320. The buyer had requested that they needed the item by Sunday. They messaged me on Thursday, so I knew I only had, essentially, counting Thursday, 3 post office business days. So really, though, more like 2, because Thursday doesn't count as one. So I only had 2 post office business days to get that item to this person. $320 is a great sale. I wanted to do everything I could to make sure that the customer was happy. So I looked into it and I realized, first of all, they were in Miami, Florida. They were located in Miami, Florida. I am in the Portland, Oregon area. So we're talking a long distance all the way across the country for that item to get there. It's, I don't know exactly how far, but over 3,000 miles. Long, long ways. But I said, sure, let's do it. And when I went to buy the postage, there was, there's UPS Next Day Air, there's FedEx Express Overnight, I don't know what the exact term of it is, and then there's USPS Priority Mail Express. That's the option I chose, and I dropped the item off at my local post office at 3:40 p.m. I actually went to, so I have a small post office right around the corner from me, less than a quarter mile away from me. It's for sure within walking distance. I usually drop off all my packages there because they're rarely busy. There's one clerk that works there pretty much every day. Her and I are, we've built up a good rapport, a good friendship over the years. So I like to go there. And I originally tried to drop off the package there, but she said, "Hey, we're not we don't always get pickups every day for this item, because in fact what we'll do is this item will go from her local office or branch to another branch that's a little bit bigger that's just down the road, and then that's going to delay everything by a day." So she said, why don't you go to the branch that's just down the road, and that way it'll be sent directly to the distribution center. She then just gave me a whole set of information, very interesting to me. I'll go over some of that, and if the inner workings of the post office and how packages get there quickly doesn't interest you, go ahead and change the playback speed on this to 1.5 times or 2 times to get through this, and then we'll get into the order pulling later on. But nonetheless, I think if any of you are interested in this will be some interesting and valuable information. I asked her, how in the world does this box, it was just a 6x6x4 box, how does that get from here in Portland, Oregon, all the way to Miami, Florida in one day? And I know the easy and short answer to that is it gets there by airplane and then delivered by truck, but I just got to thinking, here we are in Portland, Oregon, and sure, I'm sending this to Miami, Florida, but there's probably hundreds of other people, thousands of other people and businesses just in my town, my city here, that are sending packages all over the country, maybe to all 50 states. And we have one center, one distribution center here in Portland. How are they getting, are there 50 plus planes that fly out every night to all the different states and all the different, what about a state like California or Texas where it's so huge? Aren't they going to have multiple planes? Maybe one that's in the Bay Area, one that goes down to Los Angeles area, one that goes to in Texas, one that goes to Dallas, one that goes to Houston. You know, just the country's huge. How in the world, what are the logistics that are required to get all these packages to places so quickly? And she said, you know, there's a variety of answers to that question. Yes, they do have, the post office does have some of their own planes or some of their own, air travel vehicles to get the packages, but they also contract out with FedEx planes, with UPS planes. They add their packages to those planes who are flying all over the country. And she said they also even do some commercial airline shipping. So they'll work with some commercial airlines to put their packages in the luggage compartment, I guess, and then get those shipped out via the destination that those commercial airlines are going. So it was very interesting to learn that, you know, there's a lot that goes into the logistics of getting our packages from point A to point B, in addition to what we probably already know. There's even more that goes into it. So that was good. I went down, back to my story, where with my package that needed to get to Miami, Florida. I went down to my the next branch, the next closest branch to me, and like I said, I dropped off the package at 3:40 p.m. in the afternoon. Plenty of time before they closed, and should have been plenty of time to, you know, get it along the way to its destination. I messaged the buyer, let him know that I dropped it off, and lo and behold, sure enough, in the tracking history on that package, it showed that the package was scanned in at 3:40 p.m., just like I mentioned. Great, good. So my day goes along, next day comes along, and trying to be proactive for once with my customer, in terms of my customer service, I went ahead online and I checked the tracking again, because I wanted to see where it was in its process going from Portland to Miami and being delivered that next day, which would have been Friday. Well, it was about 4 p.m. that I decided to do that, and there wasn't a single scan, notification, anything. The last scan that showed up in the tracking history was the same one that I mentioned before, the 3:40 p.m. for when I dropped it off. Additionally, it said that the expected delivery date was the next day, Saturday. So I now have learned something that's probably important for you all to know, if you didn't already know this already, and maybe you all did, but Priority Mail Express is not always an overnight delivery. It's actually guaranteed 1 or 2 day delivery. And when you go on the eBay app or on the eBay website to choose that postage option, it doesn't tell you whether or not this is a 1 day or 2 day delivery service. They just give you the option to choose USPS Priority Mail Express, and you have to then know, either just through experience, or I suppose it's possible to go to the USPS website and find it that way. But there was no way there was no indication to me anywhere along the way that this package was not going to be delivered overnight, and that it was going to take 2 days to get there. If the buyer had asked me to have it delivered by the next day, Friday, and I had chosen the USPS Priority Mail Express option, I would have been completely out of luck. So if you truly need something to get there the next day, I would caution you to use USPS Priority Mail Express. Maybe only do it if the buyer is somewhat close to you, at least less than half the country's distance away. And like I said, maybe do the research on the USPS website to find out whether or not maybe they are. They will show you how long it takes for the Priority Mail Express delivery to happen. So if that's the case, don't use them and use UPS next day or FedEx next day if you really, truly, for sure need to get something there next day, especially if it's across the country. So, all right, so that that was good information for me to learn. I learned, like I said, that it was at, in fact, 2-day delivery for this USPS Priority Mail Express, which, by the way, I spent $41.35 on a 6x6 by 4-inch package that weighed less than 1 pound. So just a box that was super small, weighed less than a pound, still cost me $41.35 to ship it in, to arrive in Miami, Florida in 2 days. The logistics of it getting there that quickly is still amazing, and I find that the price probably isn't that bad. But for such a small box, I kind of almost think it would have been less. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Where we're at now is we're Friday, the next day, 4 p.m., and there's no additional scans since when I dropped it off. In my mind, this item should be halfway, if not all the way, to the general state of its destination. I would have thought at least the box would have been in Florida by now, or maybe it took 2 flights to get there. Maybe it went to Texas and it was scanned in Texas, and then it was going to be on its way to Florida. But there was nothing. There was crickets. There was no notifications, no scans, no updates whatsoever of where my package was a day later. When I ship something USPS Ground Advantage, I feel like there's about 6 scans along the way before it even arrives anywhere in the same state that the buyer lives. They scan it at my post office, they scan it at the distribution center, they scan it at the truck, along the way as it's driving down the road, they scan when it arrives in the same state, they scan it when it's sent out to the local post office, they scan and say that it's out for delivery, they scan all of these steps along the way for packages that we spend $5, $6, $9 for. And here I am, I've spent $41.35 on a USPS Priority Mail Express package, and it's crickets. There's no scan updates listed at all a whole day later. I go down to my local post office, to my friend that works there, and ask her, does this seem normal to you? And she said no, not at all. So she said that I suggested I contact the post office that I dropped it off at and see if maybe they have record of it at least leaving their facility. Well, I called them. The person that I was talking to was not very happy, wasn't really helpful. She was the one that told me that this was in fact 2-day Priority Mail Express. So she told me that, of course, she has no control over when the package leaves their office. She doesn't know what they do with it past that. She doesn't know if it should have been scanned, if it shouldn't have been scanned. She was very unhelpful in most regards. But she did tell me, like I said, that it was supposed to arrive in 2 days, just like, so when it said the estimated arrival date of Saturday, everything was good to go. That was normal. So I felt a little bit better, but I was still quite panicked that this wasn't going to arrive. This is a super long story, guys. I apologize if it's boring, but I thought it was just fascinating how the post office, in my opinion, gives the worst customer service with the highest priority, most expensive packages that at least I ship usually, which is Priority Mail Express. So I'm going to go to the tracking information that is on the website to show you exactly what happened. I'll just say that the package did arrive on time. As far as I know, the buyer was happy. I haven't heard anything from them since. But here's the tracking. So we have right here, shipping label created 3/19. USPS in possession of the item 3:40 p.m. right there. Then on July 11th. From July 11th, the next thing they scan is July 13th at 8:44 a.m. A day and a half later. 41 hours later, they finally scan something that says it arrives at the Miami, Florida distribution center, and then from there, post office, out for delivery, delivered. Sorry, this camera work's not very good on this, but anyway, my point is there is this black hole of knowledge right here between when it went from the post office in Oregon City to Miami, because I know along the way it was sent several different places. I'm thinking what they could have done is said that, let me zoom out here because you're really close to my face. What they could have said was, it arrived at the Portland Distribution Center, which is out by the Portland Airport, and then they could have said departed the distribution center. Both of those are very easy scan updates that they could have added to the process, and it would have made me a lot less panicked. I mean, I didn't really say, but I was extremely panicked by this whole thing. This whole process brought me a significant amount of anxiety. The fact that the postal employee at the branch that I dropped off the package at was completely unhelpful also added to the anxiety along the way. So, you know, this is nothing new that the post office doesn't always provide the highest level of customer service, but this lack of scanning along the way to me is completely unacceptable and something that they could easily fix, because they have the system in place and they add these tracking details already. So that's all I have to say about that. I know that was a long story, guys, but let's go ahead and pull the rest of our orders. And there's at least one really good one on here, a couple of lower dollar ones. But this next item that sold, I bought a baby monitor from my local thrift store a while back for, I don't know, $4 or $5. And I sold that off, and inside the baby monitor they had this optical wide-angle lens for the baby monitor, and I decided to take that out and not put it as part of the baby monitor that I sold for like $60. Finally sold that. It took longer than I thought. I probably should have just thrown it in there, but I did finally sell that for $9, free shipping. So, you know, I'll make $4 or $5 on that, so not too bad. This next item that's sold is a pair of Danner pants. I really thought they were going to sell for more, and I probably could have held out for more, but maybe they were, I don't know a lot about them. They're kind of a hunting specific pant, and maybe they're not in as good a condition as I thought they were, but they are I'm sorry, I said Danner. They're Duluth Trading. They're Duluth Trading Briar canvas duck pants. Show them to you here real quick. Flex fire hose. So they have this like double layer here to help protect you from the brush and the stickers and the pokey things while you're out hunting. And bought these for $10 at my favorite thrift store, and I listed them for $40. The sell-through rate on them is really good. It's like 100% sell-through rate. There's only like 10 listed. I had quite a few people interested in these that sent me really lowball offers. You know, maybe 3 or 4 different people. So they were sending me offers like $15, $20. Finally, I had somebody send me a $25 offer, so I went ahead and accepted that. So bought them for 10, sold them for 25. Not horrible. Not as good as I thought, though. This next item that's sold, I've had these listed for a chunk of time, not too much, but they are a pair of Crocs that I bought in December at the Salvation Army up in Seattle. Yet again, forgot what box they were in. But I bought them in December, but I didn't list them for a long time. 23, box 23. I'm pretty sure that's where I was looking originally. Anyway, nope, it's right there. So I'm blind. Maybe they're under these boots. They are under the boots. Didn't list them for a while because they are definitely more summer style shoes. They're these Crocs jelly sandals. I think they're an olive green color. Kind of a weird color, to be honest. I don't really like it, but those sold. I bought these for $8 and they sold for $25 plus shipping. This next sale was, I'm a little bit surprised at the price that they got. Pleasantly surprised. It's a pair of Hokas that I bought for $7.50 at my favorite thrift store. I keep saying my favorite thrift store, and it is my favorite thrift store. I used to go to a bunch of different thrift stores, so I wanted to come up with little ways to distinguish between them. Goodwill, my local thrift store, my favorite thrift store. Now it's really just the only thrift store I go to for the most part, but I still call it my favorite. Anyway, right here, these Hoka, these are Speedgoat 2s is the model. They're a trail running shoe. The top is in really, really good condition, the uppers. Hard, no scratches, stains, scuffs. I mean, the color helps. The colorway helps because it doesn't show a lot on it. But really good condition. The soles aren't great. I mean, you can see there. That's a pretty decent amount of wear on there. Hoka, the soles are more apt to wear. That's just how they're designed, because they're really spongy, cushy, and so in order to have, the downside of having that sponginess and cushiness is they just generally they wear quicker than harder rubber soles that might last longer. And this model is, I think they might be up to the Speedgoat 5 right now. So we're talking a couple of years old. But anyway, it's still sold for $50 in less than 2 weeks, plus shipping. So it just goes to show you the power of Hoka's. I love these shoes. If you can get them, anything that has any decent sole on it. If it's for under $15 or under, you should definitely buy it. And they sell quick, so as long as the uppers are in good condition, there's not a lot of rips or stains or anything, or no rips, maybe a few stains. But yeah, it's crazy how well Hoka's sell, especially in the summer, because a lot of people are getting their exercise by running. This next item that's sold is my last unique makeup. I lucked into somebody that had about 30 brand new unique makeups for sale last year. I don't know if they used to be somebody who sold the makeup or what. Is this the right one? Yeah. But anyway, they were giving them away for like less than $2 per item. I made a bunch of money off of that one. Anyway, this is the last one that sold. It took a long time. It's a Moonstruck Minerals Concealer, new in the box. It's the Frisky color, and it sold for $17.50, free shipping. So still made good profit on that one. And then the big item sale of the day. I picked this up at the Goodwill outlet a while ago. Where is it? Right here. I picked it up a while ago. It definitely didn't sell within 90 days, but it wasn't too long, probably about 6 months. It is the Effortless Success, Living the Law of Attraction by Jack Canfield. He is a very well-known self-help author, and this is a CD course, a whole bunch of CDs. I don't know exactly how many there are. A bunch, and then there is a booklet in the back here, like a workbook to help you along the way. So anyway, it's brand new, wasn't used. These sell online for, like, if you're going to go to the Jack Canfield website and buy these on your own, it's like $498. Picked this up at the Goodwill outlet, probably for around $3, maybe less than that. And I think actually it sold as a paperback, so it might even have been $1.59. And I sold that, I took an offer for $150 plus shipping on that one. So I have another self-help coaching thing that I picked up the Goodwill outlet I have listed for $1,300. It's a Tony Robbins. That one I did get an offer a while back for I think $400 or $500, which I turned down. I should have probably taken it with hindsight. But nonetheless, $150. Some of these, like I said, some of these self-help or coaching courses, some people get them from their work. Some people, I don't know, maybe buy them because they're part of like a multi-level marketing company or direct sales company, and a lot of times they give these things out as part of their training. They're expensive, and sometimes people don't use them, for whatever reason. So check those out if you happen to come across them at garage sales or thrift stores or wherever. If you see any sort of like self-help or coaching manuals, programs that are not used. If it's used, that's a totally different story, but especially ones that aren't used, check them out. They might sell for a lot of money, and you can make $150 like this one. So last item that sold, just a little one, but I bought 2 different times I bought lots of vintage, like a big group of vintage troll dolls. I don't really know what was coming over me. I never really was into trolls as a kid. It wasn't my jam. But I was feeling nostalgic when these showed up. Alright, so this is the lot that sold. I put it in a clear bag, so you should be able to see them a little bit. It's a lot of 6 of them, and it sold for $15. I paid right around 40 cents per troll, or 60 cents. I think it's 60 cents per troll, so maybe $3.60 for that. But just some older ones that, I mean, I don't know, that one screams 90s to me. So not all these are Russ brand trolls. I learned also in this process. Not surprising that there were a bunch of knockoffs that were made. This one here is from where'd it go? There it is. TNT. I don't know what that is. Another one from TNT. A bunch of those from TNT. Anyway, those sold for $15 plus shipping. I have, I think, 4 or maybe even 5 more lots of these to go. But that one right there makes me all my money back, so everything else from there is pure profit. They're all around $15 each, the lots that I have put together. So it might take some time, but I don't know. I'm testing out the trolls. I haven't sold them before. I wanted to see exactly how successful I'll be in selling them. Individually, I don't think they sell that great. There might be a few good ones here and there that might sell for big dollars, but a lot of these will sell for like $4 to $6 each, so that's just not worth it. But lotting them together, we'll see. So far, so good. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video if you did, and subscribe to my channel to get more content like this in the future. More hot post office content. If you are interested in that, subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much. Good luck with all you're doing out there in your reselling ventures. Well, take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.